Hey everyone, and welcome back to Elden Ring. So I am here in the middle of this kind of open area that had all of the exiles and the flamethrowers. I did go through this again and cleared everything out, so my number of rooms and things like that are going to look just a slight bit different. But I wanted to clear it out because there was something I missed and I wanted to show that. So make sure that you come over this way. And this is the path. We get a golden rune 2, but this is the path that you go down. And a golden rune 4, definitely worth doing. Again, this is the path that you want to come down to get to the area where those ballista were. So we jumped down from that bridge over to the ballista and then stayed up top, came down and destroyed these enemies here, and then stopped because we were gonna take care of this from the backside, so or from the other room. So I just wanted to show that off really quickly at the beginning of the episode. So now that I have shown that, my next plan was to go to, we're going to continue and go underground here, but before we do that, I wanted to go down to the Weeping Peninsula, and trying to remember where. I think it's either by the Church of Pilgrimage or the Impaler. I think it's by the Church of Pilgrimage. I should have looked it up, but I will cut to when we find it and I will let you all know where it is. And boy, is it nice to ride Torrent again. Yeah, it's going to be right over here. So you've got the waterfall and the castle, and there's the painter. So he'll appear when you get close, and then once you get even closer to him, he'll drop the item. So this one is the Warhawk Ashes, which is actually very, very good. So now we have a spirit summon of the ashes which we so despise. So use it to summon the spirit of a Warhawk. Spirit of Stormveil Warhawk, the talons of which have been sliced off so that razor-fine swords can be grafted in their place. With its lord vanquished and its wings wounded, the hawk perished as it solemnly gazed at its former home. The hawk, or the storm, is a Warhawk's cradle. And if I can see correctly, it looks like it's the one that has the sack underneath its mouth or face. So I believe that this one can shoot fire. So definitely a worthwhile to go and get that one. Alright, so let's start back at the lift side chamber, and we are going to go underground. And just a word of warning, this area is very difficult. I struggled with it on my practice, so be prepared for quite a few deaths. It's just part of the game. So let's start by coming out this way, and we're going to drop over here, and we're going to jump across. There is a bat inside here. Oh, I'm glad I finally remembered to put on Glintstone Arc. So come in here and get an Arteria Leaf, and I just want to make sure, yeah, I didn't miss reading anything. And there's a couple of more bats over here. We'll go ahead and take them out. Perfect. And then we can drop down here. Excellent. Alright, and then we want to go down this right path so that we can get that item. And if you drop from up there, which is where that body is, that up near the site of grace, that I said that I was going to point out and forgot to, you can make the drop to this platform here. You will take a significant amount of damage, and then you can drop down to get this item, but it's much better to just come the way I did. So it's for smithing stone 2, and let's go ahead and continue down. And I'm going to switch to Glintstone Arc because there are some rats down here. And if I can get them somewhat close to each other, I can miss all of them. Alright, we're just going to use Pebble. I don't like to mess with rats when they can get too close. And there is also a large rat up here that will come around the corner and come at us. So do whatever your playstyle does best, whether that's magic or jumping attacks. Just be careful. Try to save your heals and items for what's coming next. So I picked up a poison bloom, and you can see that there is a scarab beetle back here. I think we might be able to sneak around it. Yeah. So if you go around the other way, you'll come around where it can see you, and then it will try to run away from you. So we just got another spell. This one is Rancor Call. So it's going to be similar to the Rancor Pots, but in the form of a spell instead of a throwable. So it summons vengeful spirits that chase down foes. Sorcery of the Servants of Death. Summons vengeful spirits that chase down foes. Charging enhances potency. Once thought lost, this ancient death hex was rediscovered by the necromancer Garrus. Alright. So I have not really tested that one all that much, so I don't know how good it is, how effective it is. But if you want to give it a try, awesome. Again, I might do a video later, either after the playthrough is done, or like maybe when I get to what I think is around a halfway point, and do like a special video just kind of showcasing some of the different weapons and spells, just to kind of show them off and see what they can do. So I'll consider doing that. So we are about to get into a fight with a boss. It is very tough. It moves pretty quick. So I'm just going to kind of show it and just do the best that I can. It's called the Ulcerated Tree Spirit. This one technically is like more like a mini boss because it doesn't have the boss health bar. But just do the best that you can if you decide you want to fight it. It does have holy attacks. I'm not sure how effective fire is against it, but something is better than nothing. Oh, where to go? There it is. And it can slash at you with its tail, and it is staggerable, so if you have attacks that can stagger, try to do those. I did a couple of practices with the... Oh, I thought I staggered it. With the Bloodhound thing, and I seem to do better with the katana, or the Uchi katana, so there we go, there's the stagger. So its eyeball is not in a position for me to hit, so doing okay. I say, ooh, I got some heals off. Alright, that's good. So jumping attacks, charged heavy attacks, Ash of War skills, anything you can do to try and get its stagger, or like get its guard to break. Getting it close. Ooh, one more hit and I should be able to do it. I'm out of magic. Oh no, 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 roll away. Heal. There we go. Whew. I was expecting that to take quite a few tries. It is definitely worth giving it a shot if you can manage to beat it, because you get a golden seed and then you get all of this loot down here. So we got throwing daggers, we got a smoldering butterfly, another stone sword key, and there's some other stuff down here that we want to do in order to move forward with Sorcerer Roger with his quest line. And we got another talisman, so let's take a look at that real quick. And yeah, that's the only new item that we have. So this one is going to raise vitality, which is the statistic that boosts death, or resistance to death. A fetid pustule taken from facial flesh raises vitality. Vitality governs resistance to the effects of death. It is said that this pustule came from the visage of the Prince of Death, he who used to be called Godwyn. As first dead of the demigods, it's said he's buried deep under the capital, at the Erd Tree's root. And then we also get a really weird look at this squid face thing. So, from what I know about the game, or have read from people that know about the game, it's rumored that this is the, I guess, transformed body of Godwyn, who was the first demigod to be killed. So what we just read did imply that his body is under the Erd Tree. So I'm not exactly sure how he ended up here, or part of him ended up here, but with that item description, it kind of makes sense that something like that would be here. And then let's go ahead and take a look at this blood stain. If you're playing online, you're going to be seeing these all over the place. These blood stains are indications of where a person died. But because we're only doing single player, this one is going to be story related. So let's take a look at it. If I hit the right button. Okay, so that was Sorcerer Roger dying. And I don't think it's much of a spoiler, because obviously this is all death related stuff, like this death blight. The action that he is taking is what happens if your character gets inflicted with blight. Like these roots come up and lift you up like that, and basically you die. So I'm sure it'll happen to me throughout the game, but so it does appear that the sorcerer found what he was looking for down here, and unfortunately died because of it. So now we are going to climb the longest ladder in the game. And it is a fun one, but we can also get an interesting look at that. It's so weird and gross, but cool at the same time. Alright, that went way more spectacularly than I could have imagined, so I am really, really thrilled. I hope that you, if you are playing along, I hope that you have that same success against that boss. It can be very challenging, but if you've been following my guide so far, you should be able to have some pretty good armor and a pretty good leveled up weapon. So just take your time, do your best, and yeah, I hope that you succeed. Alright, and then we'll drop back down here. So we've got the statue, this is the door that was the fog, and back here where the grafted scion was. So let's go ahead and take the elevator up and rest at the site of grace. We now have 13,000. So that's going to be plenty for us to level up at least once, which will be super helpful. Let's go ahead and do that. And we also want to make sure that we upgrade our flask now that we have the 2 golden seeds. Okay, and level up. We've got 18 on each of those. And intelligence, we'll move that up to 18. So again, we're just going to keep going vigor, mind, and intelligence for now. I want to get vigor and mind up to 25. And then I'll maybe sprinkle in strength and dexterity and other stuff as we pick up new weapons and find new things to do. So, all right. So from here, the next thing that we need to do is come back out here. Nope. I was thinking I was at a different side of grace. We want to go here to the lift side chamber. Sorry about that. So lift side chamber, and back out this way. So again, this is where I had started, and that pathway over there is where I forgot to show the items last time, so just to give you some bearing on where we are. So we've got some more warhawks up here, and these are the ones that have the fire. So be careful. Again, I prefer the ranged attacks. I think it just makes it a lot easier to deal with them if you're close enough to actually hit them. That was good. Nice! Oh, that was awesome. Alright, and then we have a crossbow exile up here. Alright. So you can make as much noise over here as you want until you go around that curve. There's some enemies that way. But over here, we want to start by going inside this room.
Be proud. You were a fine warrior. Your only mistake was your choice of master. Let the winds lift you to a higher place.
Go ahead and talk to her.
Well, who do we have here? Tarnished, are you? Clearly not one of Godrick's lot. I am Nepheli Lu. Tarnished and warrior, like you. I'm here by decree of my father. How utterly repellent this is. This grafting of Godrick's ill befits a lord. He's tainted the very winds. If you intend to challenge Godrick, I ask you call upon me. The winds run foul with his deeds. I'm certain father would permit me aid the fight. Apologies, but I've idled long enough. As fellow Tarnished, we must each follow our own guidance, down whatever road takes us to the throne of Elden Lord. Apologies, as fellow Tarn down whatever.
Okay, so that is Nepheli Lu, and she is going to be able to help us fight against Godrick. So kind of like Sorcerer Roger, when we summoned him to help us with Margit, she will be available to help us, which is really cool. And she said that her father would let her fight, or would allow her to fight against Godrick. We'll learn more about that later. And what else did she say? Oh, another thing I found interesting, and I guess I'd never really noticed or paid attention to it before. She said that we, Tarnished, each follow our own guidance of grace, which I think is really interesting. So, like, whatever path she is on might take her a different route than us to become Elden Lord. So, kind of interesting. Alright, so another golden seed right here. Another Trina's Lily. We've got a couple of exiles and another troll up there. And we'll just sneak over here and get another smithing stone too. So this part can be kind of tricky. So if you remember when we broke open that statue in the middle of the field that had all the trolls, well, we can do the same here if we can lure this troll all the way back over there. I've seen it done in videos before, and I don't remember what the items are, but I've never actually tried it myself until now. So let's see if we can get him to follow us. And we'll fight him over there. So the biggest issue that we're probably going to have is fighting that big guy. But I can summon. So maybe they can help us. Oh, if I die, this is going to be really embarrassing. I'm going to die. I didn't die. How did I not die? Well, that wasn't embarrassing. Okay, let's come over here. See if we can get the troll to break that. Alright, looks like they're all holding their own for right now. Come on. Get over here, troll. I want this to work. Yes. That is not what I wanted. But that was good. Oh. Okay, that worked. A 1. Oh, 5 stone, 5 ones and a 2. So worth it, maybe. I guess. I mean, it was worth trying and worth seeing that it is possible to do. So that's actually kind of cool. So this is going way better than I expected. I thought it was going to take closer to 40 minutes to get all of this. Oh, there's another item up here, I think. Make sure you curve around. And there is one more exile up here on the right. There we go. And another smithing stone too. So that's really good. Alright, let's go back through this area. Make sure that we have everything we need. Not going to be able to level up again, which is fine. Might test out going to the War Master's shack to see if we can summon that night boss to finish off this episode. I don't want to start with fighting Godrick right now because I haven't practiced and I don't think that I'm going to have much luck on my first try. So here's Nepheli. I feel like there was a way to summon Sorcerer Roger as well, so I'm going to look into that. But yeah, let's go ahead and fast travel to the War Master's shack, and then we'll change it to nighttime and see if we can get that boss to come out, just so that I can show who it is and how incredibly strong he is. So let's go ahead and rest, and then we'll switch it to nighttime and see if that works. It did not. Let's try it again. Nope. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause the game pause for just a moment. I'm going to look it up and see if we can't get him to come out. Be right back. Okay, I am back. So the FextraLife wiki that I looked it up on, which is really, really useful, by the way. I highly recommend using that one if you're trying to find specific items and not necessarily wanting to watch full walkthroughs just to find an item. But anyway, it said to rest at the site of grace and pass the time until night. So I'm going to try making it morning, pass the time to night again. And then if that didn't work, it said that we can exit the game. So if we quit the game to the main menu and then restart it, that might trigger the boss fight. So let's see if that works. If it doesn't, then I'll try to look into it a little bit more off screen, and then we can do that in a future episode. Let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so he's there. So let's go ahead and rest. Pass the time to nightfall. He's still there. Okay. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing wrong, so I wonder if... What is that guy sitting there? Weird, I don't remember him being around. Interesting. I'm going to try one other thing now. Let's go over to the Stormhill, I think it was Stormhill Shack, where Roderica was at. And we'll try... Let's try resting here. Pass the time to nightfall, and then we'll ride back to the other one and see if that makes any difference. I don't think that it should. And I think this is one of the more tricky nighttime boss fights to summon. I think I went up a little bit too far. Oh, there we go. Alright, so I can see the site of grace over here in the distance. And Bernal is still there. There we go. Nope. That also did not work. I didn't have the camera angled quite enough. Alright, well, I am going to give up on that for right now. So, let's head back to the secluded cell. I have my own research that I need to do after this episode before we fight Godrick. I do need to practice a little bit so I can familiarize myself with his moves again. And also look into the summoning with Roger as well. I might just be mixing it up with Margit, but I feel like I remember there being multiple summons that you can get. So I'll look into that. So this was a little bit shorter of an episode, which is fine, but I do appreciate you watching until now, and I hope you're enjoying the playthrough, and I hope you have a great night. See you next time.